So as a student, as you go ahead and create some of these interventions, there's a few things that you should keep in mind. One of the things is that you only want to create these interventions for students that need them. So if you think about it and your student could learn the task by you doing direct instruction or you teaching them, then it's probably not a good skill to learn and you might want to move on to another one. But if you have a student that you've tried to teach a few times to, or the skill's a little complicated, then this would be a good thing to consider to teaching them the task. I always work with the student and with their teacher to determine what tasks are necessary for them to complete. So I call them selected target tasks. So we determine what task or skill they need to learn. And then once we learn that skill, I will go ahead and I will film someone teaching that skill correctly. So I'll find someone who can do that task correctly. It could be another student. In some cases it's been another student with a disability. In some cases it's been a teacher, but the only criteria is that they can complete it correctly in the manner the teacher wants. And then from there you will go ahead and watch that video and do a task analysis. In the task analysis you break up the skill or the task into its individual steps. And so depending on the complexity of the task and the ability level of the student, each task is going to have different steps. And it's very important as you go through to do the task analysis, because that's how you will determine how effective your intervention is, because you will go through and keep track of how many steps they're doing correctly on that task analysis. So you'll be able to check before the video and after the video. So an example would be, for instance, if the task was to make a salad, the first thing they would do is wash their hands. Then they would get the different ingredients out. They would get a bowl out to make the salad in. And then you'd go through in the specific steps, but you can see that there'd be a lot of different steps in there. And then once you've determined what the task analysis is, you will write a script for the video. And that script needs to have all of the tasks or all of the steps that you're teaching them to be explicitly, make sure that they're in the video. So you don't want to be checking off if they're doing the step if you haven't been explicitly teaching them that step. So you'll go through and you'll film the video and you'll film each of the individual parts of the video. And then after that, actually prior to filming, you'll need to consider a few different things. And one of those is, who are you going to use for the model? There's been research out there that's talked about the effectiveness of different types of models. The research says that you want to find a model that's close in age and appearance to that individual. So if you're working with an adolescent boy, you'd want to find someone who's close to that person in age and appearance. And the reason is because you want that individual to relate to that person that they see in the video. So you want them to see that person see them doing it and say that could be me. So you want to find someone that's similar in age and appearance to them. Sometimes that's a little more difficult, but that's something you need to consider. The other thing is what camera angle you're going to use. It's called the perspective. So there's called point of view modeling, which is what the person would see if they were looking at it from their eyes. So that would be if you were learning how to tie a shoe, it would just be looking down at the shoelace and you would see your hands. Another thing is you could do another perspective where you actually film the person doing it from the side. And so these are all different considerations to think about when making the videos. And then sometimes after you've made the videos, you can go through and look at your data and you can see if there's a specific step maybe that they're not doing correctly, and you can go back in and look at your video and see maybe you're not teaching that step correctly, or maybe you need to modify the video. So there's that consideration as well. So it's kind of an ongoing process as you develop the videos and then show them to your students.